Oh no, the timer is alive. Well, let's start then. What do we have? Right, so we've got some CPL games. Week 1, Tier 1, Crimey Reaver versus S.E.A.L. Hello everyone, welcome to another CPL cast. I'm actually quite excited to be casting again. I think it's pretty much my first cast since this year. I see Dada is in the chat. Dada, my trusty co-caster, couldn't join me today. He was otherwise occupied, so my chat overlays with that scene. Is it not showing you all the games from today? Yeah, it is. It's fine. Yeah, Dada's busy doing other things. Anyway, so we'll have some games tonight. I'm aware that Ver is casting at the moment as well, but I really just wanted to get back into casting as soon as possible, so I couldn't really wait. I had some time today, and I don't have much time, but and I'm super jet lagged because I was traveling all day yesterday and couldn't sleep. But anyway, without further ado, let's get some games. In a tribute to Dada, yeah, I'm not gonna show all the games. In a tribute to you, I'll only show the ones that do not have a Zerg in them. I'll save the Zerg games for when you're around. So I will start with the PVT, and then maybe if it's not too late, I can go into the PVZ. And we'll have TVZ and a ZV something, I believe. Anyway, let's go into game number 1. The only PVT in this series, it's gonna be Yaqoob versus GeforceTesla. I think Yaqoob is somewhat new to the CPL. I know GeforceTesla definitely played in Season 8, and I think Season 8 was their first season. Let's get back into the game. So, spawning in the top left of Vermeer, we've got Yaqoob, and spawning in the bottom left, we've got GeforceTesla. What was the magic thing? Not that one. How do you get rid of this thing? I've not done any casting in such a long time. That was it, thank you. There we go. I know it was annoying you a lot, so I started doing it and then I forgot how to do it. As you can see, I'm out of shape in my casting meta. Let's get the map. I assume everybody will know Vermeer by now, but since it's the very first game and it's not much going on yet, let's go over Vermeer. You've got somewhat of a big main. It's not too big. I know a lot of players are complaining that they cannot fit a lot of production facilities, Protoss and Turn mainly, in the area that they've got. They've got the natural. They've got somewhat easy to defend their gas. If you're a Terran player, you get some siege tanks over here, some siege tanks over here, and some Sim City over here. At least in PvT, you're fine. Fort base is not too difficult to take, and these high grounds are somewhat unique to this map. It's very well balanced. I think it's about 50-50 for every single matchup in the highest level, so that's as balanced as it gets. And yeah, that's pretty much the map. And the only other important thing is there is a gas on every single base. And with that said, you're all introduced to Vermeer, and let's get back into the game. So we are having standard builds from both of our players. GeforceTesla going with somewhat of an odd SimCity over here. I'm not sure if they were thinking that they spawned in a different location or what is up with that. I assume that if they thought they spawned somewhere, they'll top left instead of bottom left. And we've got standard opening from the TR2, but GeforceTesla did not go far enough to see that there is only one SCV on the gas. So normally when you're the Protoss player and you make your scout early enough so that Marines don't bother you, and you see the factory being built, you want to go deep enough to see, because that would signal whether to factory or whether a 2 factory is coming or whether that is just going to be a factory into expansion. That said, we do have 3 Marines being built for Yaqoob and a 4th one coming in, and GeforceTesla is able to see the 4 Marines right now. The 4 Marines will push back the Dragoon, and let's see what's the response. We have we've got the Nexus, which is fine, but seeing these 4 Marines, he should already be suspicious of an early attack. Normally, as a Terran player, you only want about 3 Marines, and then you build your bunker, so that 4th one really is telegraphing that an FD is coming. And I like the fact that Yaqoob is trying to hide his 5th Marine, but ideally he should have been hiding the 4th and the 5th. Meanwhile, we do have GeForce going for, unfortunately, super standard response to what Yaqoob is doing, and that may not be enough production for the FD that's about to hit very shortly. Now GeForce is definitely aware that this is coming. I really want to see a 3rd gateway being added, but that is not yet happening, and instead we are queuing. Okay, a 3rd gateway is added right now. Yeah, the Terran player should definitely go, and the Protoss player should have responded in a different way. But it is tier 1 after all, so let's cut them some slack. GeForce doing nice micro here, but when you do this 3rd step micro, you have 2 goals. First one is to obviously delay the push as much as possible, but the second one is to take any free shots that you can at the Terran army. And by free shots I really mean you should not be allowing the siege tank to be shooting at you. Maybe you can let the Marines, but not really the siege tank. And we do have the robotic facility, but we do not have an observatory yet, which might be crucial. And as I said, I was afraid that GeForce might not have enough production to fend off the attack, and that is the robo facility that's being added. It's not a observatory, so it seems like GeForce is gonna take the decision to sack the expansion and keep playing from there while Yaqoob is expanding himself, and the Vulture gets into the main base. That is always annoying. Thankfully, he's not laying all the mines. And yeah, that is a save. Wow. You called it, Data. Oh my god, that is... that Nexus should not have been alive. Okay, let's see what the response from Yaqoob is gonna be then. So, Robo Facility was added. Okay, shuttle speed is being researched right now. I was gonna say robustity was added, but no robo units or tech has been developed. So that shuttle speed tells me that GeForce might want to go for some either Bulldog or some Reaver aggression, but the Reaver is really, the more you delay your Reaver attack, the less effective it would be, because as you can see, Yaqoob is starting to make the third ring, and in about 1 minute or 2 minutes they will be completely safe, given how this game developed. This seems to be an anti-shuttle turret rather than an anti-DT, but really you want your maybe one turret over here and one turret over here as a Terran player. This one is not doing so much. The positioning does matter. Of course, they did not play on top versus bottom, at least their colors are nice. And we do have 4 factories and a +1 from Yaqoob, which it could be either a super safe third base, but it may also telegraph that Yaqoob is just planning to go for some very fast attack. We do have quite a lot of gateways, but the production of GeForce is lacking, because you can see how many minerals are close here. Nice. This guy. Doing some cute micro with the Reaver here, and trying to bust. Could that be too many Dragoons? The Reaver is dead. There are 5 factories, so Terran should be fine. As long as they lift the CC, they really need to lift that CC. What? No. Okay, so losing these tanks definitely was not ideal, but I mean, Yaqoob was definitely in a playable position from there, especially with the 5 factories that they were adding. That would have been easily enough production to push the Protoss away. Anyway, we do have game number 1 going to GeforceTesla, very quick one. What seemed to be possibly a very, very... Yeah, exactly. S.E.A.L saying it's a case of defending at the ramp with the turret. S.E.A.L being known for the very stubborn Protoss that never quits. Terran, I mean. So maybe Yaqoob should take a sheet of your book. Learn him to never quit the game. You still have SCV, so you can fight. Did he have over 300 APM? Wow, I did not pay attention to this. Alright, game number 2. Second map is gonna be Ascension. That's the second map for this week. Maybe we should add the maps to the overlay as well. Data, because you're working on that right now. Just some ideas. For those that don't know yet, oh yes, it does have over 300 APM, over 500 right now, and yet the ICV is not mining. For those that don't know how CPL works, currently there are 6 different teams. Every team will face against every other team in a Swiss round robin kind of style. And there are 4 tiers per team, and there are a number of matches for each tier, and we are casting here games in tier 1 for 2 of the teams, Crimea Reaver and Southeast Asian Laggers, or S.E.A.L, as abbreviated. So yeah, Yaqoob, actually, I think I forgot to say that. Is Yaqoob representing the Crimea Reaver, or is he just from the Southeast S.E.A.L? Who knows? I thought GeforceTesla was Crimea Reaver. Oh no, okay, I'm wrong. That explains why Dada knew about Yaqoob. Alright, yeah, and we've got 3 maps normally each week. First map this week was Vermeer, second map is Ascension, and the third map, if it gets to that game, is Eclipse. All matches are best of 3. And I'm surprised. So, on this map in particular, gas is done, but no probes are mining any gas yet. In any case, on this map in particular, just because of these tiny chokes and high ground that you have everywhere, defending early Nexuses is, well, it's not easy, but it's easier compared to some different maps. So 12 Nexus is quite common on this map. GeforceTesla having that huge bank all the time, so one of the easiest things always for CPL players to improve is just work on your macro and polish your builds. Seems like GeForce is otherwise playing solidly, as we saw last game, but can definitely use some better attention to the base management and Big Yaqoob is Canadian B rank Protoss. Wow. Okay. That makes even less sense, I suppose, of why he quit that game so early then. Oh. Straight after the SCV died, we have a Citadel of Adun, but GeForce wasn't really mining gas after the simulator was done, and he's still going for range, so that DT tech, if this is DT tech at all, will be very delayed. And yeah, the other issue if you're going for such a play is that you're pretty much naked, and Yaqoob will exploit that a lot. Yaqoob, as of now, okay, he had not scouted the DT tech yet, but now knows that the DTs are definitely a possibility. And this is one of the reasons why this is a very high risk, high reward kind of play, but when you're going for it, you really need to be more careful not to let that happen, because right now GeForce is in 8 working deficit. Yaqoob, okay, I was gonna say Yaqoob scouted the DT, and I was or the DT tech, and I did not see any engineering base at it, but there is one now. Interestingly enough, GeForce will still commit to the attack with the DTs. Honestly, in such a situations, I mean, obviously it's a very big blunder for GeForce to get into such a state to begin with, But if you do end up in such a state and they do scout your sneaky tech, you may just do the, I don't know, the very ape strategy of never actually going to develop that tech. You just come here and knock with your Dragoon range and that's it. But seems to that this will not be the case. He did go for the Citadel and the Archives, but no DTs are in production. So a bit of indecision from GeForce. Taking a third base though. And that third base will be a smart play for now, because realistically Yaqoob doesn't really have anything to attack right now, and the DTs are a possibility. So there could be DTs waiting over here and over here, and without a scanner you can't really leave your base. But the academy is almost done, and there's already 3 factories in production. So it really feels that GeForce needed to add, I don't know, 2 or 3 more gateways like yesterday, if they were to keep their expansion. Seems like the plan will be to go for super early arbiters, maybe into a Rico, but again, this suffers from the same mistake that GeForce already did in the beginning of the game, and that is while taking so hard, he's basically naked, and yeah, Yaqoob is pressing on his advantage and taking the most out of the fact that GeForce currently does not have the units just to deal with any type of harassment. These vultures are a big attack, but honestly, if these 3 tanks were with them, that would be game. Okay, so the first scanner is ready. That was a very big mine connect, and a second one killing, I think, all of GeForce's Dragoons. And as I said earlier, if these tanks were there with the push, the game will already be over. Let's see if Yaqoob will scout the third base. I think, yeah, okay, so these vultures seem to be... Okay, no? I thought they were doing a beeline to the third base. And if they were, that would basically be game, because the third base is currently very exposed. And all these 6 probes will just melt now. Yaqoob smartly laying some mines to prevent Dragoons from helping the probes. And will now take care of them, but in GeForce's defense, these probes were not really mining, so he was not using the third base. So maybe Yaqoob helped them there. And going for a 4th base already, you definitely cannot do that with so much tech and with 0 units. Because basically, well, that is gonna happen. Like, I don't know. This game should have been like, Terran definitely has the opportunity to close the game. They're just not recognizing it here. Something that no. Watching other people play always gives me hope. Yeah, that's what CPO is for, but oh my god, that mine. 26 workers for for GeforceTesla and all the tech in the world without the Arbiter. So basically this target is not doing anything for us right now. And here we go, Yaqoob is finally deciding that he will press on the advantage and will bring that game home for Reaver. Some vulture movements going on over here to prevent any reinforcements from helping defend the third base. And the siege tanks will shortly start sieging the third base. And with the mines and the vultures, yeah, we've got GeForce tapping out. And game number 2 goes to Yaqoob. So, very nicely executed. Again, I do think that Yaqoob had game 1 in the bag as well if they were just not very premature with the GG. Clip that. I mean, you should clip it. I'm just running the show. Yeah, game number 3 is gonna be on Eclipse, or as many Terran players like to call it, P-Clips. I guess that is because gas steals and early nexuses and carriers and proxy gateways and everything like this that every single Terran player loves so much is definitely a possibility on Eclipse. One thing though is, as a Terran player, if you do end up in a state where you can siege the rally point and lay some mines over here, it's basically checkmate. And that's why Protoss players are going for a lot of aggressive strategies on that map, basically in an attempt to preempt that state of the game from ever occurring. Because if you manage to siege the rallies of the Protoss, it's not a 4-player map where they can just rebuild all their gateways, say over here or over here, and they can still try to attack you with some armies. And they cannot flank you either, so if you ever reach that, basically it's game for the Terran. And it wouldn't be so difficult. Like, taking the third base is sometimes pain in the ass for Terran, depending on if they spawn bottom or top. But with these high grounds, pushing out with the pushing out with siege tanks is really not all that difficult. Oh my god, is this proc gonna get the SCV? Yes, it does. Okay, so a tip for all the Terran players out there: if the probe is harassing your worker that's building a building, just unassign the worker from building that building, get it to mine, or use that second worker not to try and fight the probe, but to repair your own unit, because, you know, SCVs can repair themselves. Nope, the probe died before managing to pick up that second SCV, but it would have been huge. Very ballsy play from Yaqoob, by the way, building that barracks here, not going for the Sweet Sim City, and yeah, just not being all that bothered about early zealots. GeForce already doing a bit of a micro mistake here, chasing the SCV rather than just pushing on. But for those that don't know, the sweet sim city is you build your barracks over here, and then one supply depot over here, and then the second supply depot goes over here. And that's with your CC and barracks and supply depots, that's Zealot tight, but it's not Marine tight. So your Marines are free to do whatever damage they want to the Zealot, whereas the Zealot cannot attack them and has to go through the SCV line, which is almost impossible with 4 Marines shooting at you. That first Zealot though, backing off really early. Now Dragoon sleeping on his job, not really preventing the SV from getting a full scout and seeing what's going on. And seems like Yaqoob is favoring that big double again. Not sure why they are showing the 4 Marines, well, potentially showing the 4 Marines once again. As a Terran player, if you want to fake that double, you really want to build only 3 Marines. Or to show only 3 Marines. The SCV shouldn't really be on the ramp anymore. You as a Terran, you shouldn't be afraid of anything. But I like the play. Like in game number 1, there was basically game-ending damage. Like you just needed to right-click the Nexus for one more hit. It was, I think, 47 health remaining on the Nexus or something. And we've got the 2 gateways and no scouting units, and now, only now is GeForce aware that this is happening. Let's see, the robo is already built. Shield battery is trying to come online. There is no observatory yet, and we've only got 1 gateway. It really feels like this should be the death push. Like that should be what secures the whole game. A second shield battery. GeForce doing actually better micro this time, but not really utilizing these shield batteries. So it seems like a bit of a blunder, but it shouldn't matter anyway, because that firepower is too strong by the Terran player. Meanwhile, they are doing a good job on going with their backup plan and expanding. Losing a bit too many Marines over here. So that's suboptimal, but normally if you're going for a push like this, always bring 1 SCV. It can first repair your tanks. But also if you start just building supply depots, turrets, bunkers, and anything really, it just makes it such a nightmare for the process. Because that army right there definitely had what it takes to close out the game. But somehow GeForce was able to defend the attack. And we'll be going for a Reaver again. It feels like GeForce should have been in Team Crimea Reaver instead. Game number 1 we had a Reaver. Game number 3 we're going for a Reaver again. But almost out. Look at that pylon. The amount of health points this pylon has right now is the amount of health points the Nexus in game number 1. GeForce sending one Dragoon with the probe to patrol around and pick off any vultures that would have potentially been here on their base. Very smart move. Very late observer. We've seen that in games 1, 2, and 3. So if I were Yaqoob over here, I'll see that my opponents tend to go for a very late observer, you know, these games, and I will lay mines everywhere and even just go aggressively into their main base laying mines. We've got 3 vultures. Some mines are being laid. It feels like not enough, because if he lays enough mines over here, the procs will never be able to push out. Not until they get an observer, which would be plenty of time for Yaqoob to get their 3rd base, which is where Terrans feel really comfortable. Oh my god, we're going for shuttle with the Reaver, and now we have DT tech as well, and researching S.E.A.L legs, and we've got speed for our shuttle. Seems like GeforceTesla just clicked the probe, so all the buildings that the probe could build, and thought, yeah, maybe I want all of these. And so all the researches and all the technologies that the buildings can get, and he's thought, yeah, I want all these too. And that's what we're seeing right now. Shuttle with speed and DTs with S.E.A.L legs. I don't know, there's not gonna be DTs, so I guess this is gonna be for the Templar tech. That makes a bit more sense now. It is oddly timed, but regardless, that shuttle's mantra is just persistency. If you want to get into the Terran base, you will get to the Terran base. That's what the driver in that shuttle thought. The little shuttle that could. In such a situation that GeForce currently is, shuttle's almost never getting out, so one huge thing that they could do is try to go for these 3 supply depots and the armory. Speaking of that armory is huge. If you manage to prevent Terran's +1 make upgrade, it's kind of like in PvZ when you're preventing the +1 ground attack for Protoss with your early Hydra aggression. But not only that, this SimCity allows you to pick up that armory while killing all these 3 depots. So instead of going for any of the SCVs, I would have wanted GeForce to actually do that in this case, because that would be 24 supply with the additional denied +1. That is gonna be game ending. And once again, we do have GeForce floating quite a bit of money. Seems to be the trend here, but they do want to go for that fancy storm shuttle play, but it really seems like that what they should be focusing on is just base management and macro. Because I get it when people want to be fancy, but that is you can allow to be fancy as soon as you start to play the game on a level that lets you try and be fancy. Before that, you should really focus on the fundamentals. Because basically what's happening right now is it's not as much that Yaqoob is winning this game as much as GeForce is just losing it by not producing units and being super behind on everything. But at least one thing that they have going for them is that third base had only about 7 or 8 workers and was very undersaturated. So, okay, it had 8 workers, and that seems to be how many workers GeForce likes to have on their third base. You really want more than that. At the very late stage of this matchup, you kind of want 1 probe per mineral patch, but not this early. Yaqoob now securing the third base, and GeForce will attempt to go for a bust, but as I said, by not macroing, this bust is just not very effective. Look at that. GeForce currently has 3k minerals. Imagine if there was 30 more zealots with this attack. That Terran army is gone. And possibly GeForce wins the game. As it stands right now, that force will be dealt with, and okay, the gateways are producing, but we're not really... Look at the supplies. Terran is 30 supply ahead. GeForce going for a very quick 4th base again. You can't really get a 4th base after losing your whole army like this. Because right now, if GeForce just unsieges and pushes, the game is over. Seems like instead they will try to deny some of that mining. And they're not doing a horrible job with the 4th base, but okay, so Yaqoob just scouted what the Protoss army is like, and as you can see, he keeps scanning everywhere to see where the Protoss army might be, because he scanned these 5 dragoons and 1 zealot and thought, there's no way. And this is the Protoss army, right? He scanned everywhere, didn't see any units, and he made the right call. He assumed that this is the whole Protoss army, and this was the whole Protoss army. And he thought, yeah, you know what, I can push this. But yeah, going back to the do not try to be fancy. With these Templars, they could have dropped some very good storms, but GeForce is just currently not in a position where he can have the multitask to do that. Engagement honestly going as well as it can for GeForce. Maybe these dragoons could have backed a bit to wait and sync with these zealots as they are doing right now. but that's about it. It's just Yaqoob has so much more stuff. There is too much Terran right now. And as we can see, we have reached that point where I was talking about earlier. The Terran is sieging the volley points, and this means only one thing. The game would be over very soon. Some good Z bomb went off there. Some really nice outcomes, and again, GeForce just not bringing SCVs with his attack. This is currently the only thing that's allowing GeForce to stay in the game. The lack of turrets with the push. That said, the Nitro is compromised. All the probes from the main base are dead. And we do have GeForce tapping out again. It's gonna be 2-1 for Yaqoob. Very good game. And we've been streaming for an hour. Let's go for a bit more. Let's cast one more series. It was not an Artosis pylon, it was two Artosis pylons, which makes them by definition non-Artosis pylon. Alright, let's see what other matches we've got. Artosis Pily, yeah, that it just does not work like this. We've got S.E.A.L playing as Kebab Terran versus Gooseheaded, but that is a TVZ, and I promise that I will do the TVZ with Dada. And we've got Censored versus S.E.A.L, which is also another TVZ, so I'm gonna do this one with Dada as well. So let's cast the only other series in the pool that we have, and then we're gonna call it a day, and we're gonna cast the TVZs with Dada some other day this week, possibly. So we are gonna get into the Height versus Volka. Again, game number 1 is gonna be on Vermeer. Hello, Angry Dwarf. Good to see you here. There will be no Sky games today, unfortunately, but he is in the chat. Kebab Terran is supporting us. He got what was it, Sky? You go in a team with someone and the Bulgarians. Who was it? Was it the Ash players and the Bulgarians? I forgot. Anyway, so very good character, that Kebab Terran guy in the chat. Anyway, we've got a PVZ this time, and we've got Volka spawning in the top left corner, and we've got the Height spawning in the bottom left corner. One drone being almost a Katenzi drone. There we go, we're mining now. And that Overlord going into the right direction, but unfortunately for Volka, oof. They got a pause, so I'm gonna get a pause here. Volka, what Volka's going for over here? That pylon should be at the bottom. This is not doing much, unless Volka has some special tactics prepared. And the other thing is, as you can see, Volka went for that Overlord interception play, but they did not scout the Overlord. despite the Hyde being in the correct position for the Overlord to be. And that was because if you're going for the Overlord interception, you always want to build your forge or your gateway and then go and check for the Overlord. Otherwise, you run the very real case of, well, what Volka just showed us. And that is gonna be, I assume, a pylon, a forge, and a gateway over here. And that is just not gonna do anything, unfortunately. So there is gonna be a link, a gap for links over here, and for zealots in that matter. There's gonna be a 2 zealot gap over here, and the gateway with this egg is also not tight, I believe. So it's gonna be a 4 zealot wall, when you can really make this only a 3 zealot wall. But the Volka somehow realizing that their opponent is close spawn, even though they did not see the Overlord. And yeah, goes into the base of the Hyde. And I'm not sure what that probe is doing there. Nothing much. Scouts the build. And for how the game started, Volka is doing good. The Hyde is not building any links, which is okay. They really have no reason right now to build links. Sometimes you may want to go for 2 links to place them over here, so your Overlord can scout their tech or start teching away or anything like this. Okay, we do have 2 links that are going to chase away the probe. And we do have 4 hatches by the Hyde already. Are we gonna see the very famous 5 hatch before gas build, which is not actually a build PvZ? Because we still don't have gas for the Hyde, so there is no tech, any tech yet. Yeah, it's not a build, I'm sorry. That is... Actually, the Hyde is making it seem like a good position for the Zealot, but actually the position for the Zealot is either here or here, because it can be attacked by at most 2 Zerglings, whereas here it could have been attacked by 4, maybe with a good positioning, 5 Zerglings at a time. And we do actually had the 5 hatches before the gas. So the Hyde is showcasing that this is not a build. And the only reason why I'm saying it's not a build is because Volka had that probe for such a long time in the Hyde space that they see how late that gas is, and they have basically a few responses. They can go for super early Cybercore into Stargate and then even build a scout, because there is still no anti-air, and there would not be any anti-air for quite a long time. But more importantly, what happens more commonly is Volka really trying to get that scout across the map. Hold on a second. That scout is very important, and it seems like the Hyde is missing it. It went, the links were there to do the interception. but they will allow Volka to scout everything, even though I'm not quite sure why the prop went to the third base. It's now able to scout the Hydra then, and we'll see the lair. So a big blunder by the Hyde, because that probe is, well, it's currently only on 2 health. He skipped link speed just because his gas was so late. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, the Protoss player has scouted how late the gas was and could have just gone for 4 gateways with speed zealots and +1 and attempted to get either in the natural, in the main base, or at the third base, and one of these 3 would have been vulnerable. And basically you would allow to be compromised and the game is over from that point. But yeah, you can even counter this build with Scout, so that's why it's very not recommended. That's a scary amount of zealots though. And the Hyde is going for a very healthy amount of workers, and even is researching burrow. I assume all these Zerglings will be burrowed very soon, which would be mega annoying for the Hyde to deal with. Basically, you cannot get your third base until you get your observers. The Hyde losing, I think that's the second Overlord that they are losing. And that's 2 more Overlords that they needed to lose this game. That, yeah, Volka very well spotting this Overlord and intercepting it with the Corsair. But look at the Hydra Force. Like, you can definitely take on these Zealots. You can take on them with the SimCity and without the SimCity, and you can protect that Overlord. Let's see if the Overlord will manage to get to safety to the Hydras. Seems like Volka is not even gonna attempt that DT checking for a 4th base. There is already a Spore Colony at the 3rd base, so the DT is not going to do much in there. And okay, so the DT has been given the patrol command. Ooh, that was some nice storms into a good backstab by the Zealots. Very good move by Volka, but the Hyde could have picked a lot of these Templars that were exposed and could have backed off for to pick quite a few of these Zealots. But the way this developed, it worked really well for the Hyde. For Volka, I mean, for our Protoss. Yeah, as I was saying, this is so annoying. You cannot get your Nexus until you research, you get your observers on, until you, okay. Or until you want to storm. We did attempt to storm that one link, but the link dodged the storm. Imagine that. I know, right? That DT. Okay, we'll see the drone. We're now building a shrine to attribute to that one link. 4 pylons and wait. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Seems like the Hydra realized that there's a DT over here, send the Overlord and 4 Hydras, but he can... No. Losing that drone is so painful for the Zerg players. That's a very healthy amount of units by the Hyde. But Observer Tech is already out, so it seems like the time where Burrow was useful is over. Want to be supporting your lurkers with your Hydras, as the Hyde is doing right now, but Volka at the same time very smartly not allowing his elves to run into the lurkers for free, and only attacking with the goons and Templars. We're diving deep for these Templar, and we are making it, actually. Do we have any observers in here? We do have only a single observer. And a single observer is not really something that we want in situations like this, because we have seen... oh wow. You could hit 2 lurkers if you stormed over here, and 2 lurkers if you stormed over here, and he still managed to storm a single lurker. You can even storm 3 lurkers. So as the Zerg, you really want to be spreading out these lurkers a bit, so at most 1 lurker can be hit by a single storm. Because when the Pro player sees something like this, they're having a field day, because look at that storm. That was so much damage. But the Templars are fizzing out. And we are only remaking a single Templar. That engagement going really poorly for the Hyde, but lurkers are good units, but you really need some support for the lurkers if you want them to be useful. Lurkers on their own will not deal with a Protoss army unless it's a Zealot army. And yeah, we just had only lurkers with no support whatsoever, and the Protoss player managed to break that somewhat easily. We do have 2 observers now. Two Zealots attempting to deny that fort base, but the 3 Hydras should be Well, the Zealots currently have an upgrade advantage. That is a lot of Hydras, but the Protoss army is... Oh my god, these 3 Templars are so exposed. And Volka could have sniped them easily and now could have overwhelmed that army, but it seems like Protoss will be victorious in this engagement. Meanwhile, we do have Hyde going for a big counterattack. The supplies are heavily in favor of our Protoss player here. But depending on how this counter goes, this might actually go really well for the Hyde. One lurker running into the cannons, and that's not really what you want. You kind of want your lurkers to be intercepting the reinforcements that are coming from the back, because all these zealots will basically down for free if the lurkers are getting pop shots on them. But oh my god, these storms were so huge, they almost... They wiped almost the entire army of the Zerg there. And while all this is happening, Volka is doing really well of re-macroing and producing units, whereas we do see that the Hyde is not really doing that. And this engagement, well, went, I'd say, as well as it could have for the Protoss player, but that would be an understatement. It went much better than whatever Volka could dream of. And right now we've got the scary Protoss counterattack, and the upgrade advantage is 3-0 currently. 3-2 upgrades for against 2-1, so that Protoss army should just smash the Zerg forces easily. Let's see how the engagement will go. Currently, there's a lot of lurkers, but again, unfortunately, no support for them. And in such a heavy Dragoon army, you can really start adding Hydra Link rather than Hydra Lurker and fight off the Protoss that way. But as I said, we do have the tech advantage, we do have the upgrade advantage, and we do have the unit advantage right now as our Protoss player. So if that... Well, hold on a second though. Volka is really short on mining. That second natural is, or their natural is almost mined out, and they currently have only 2 mining bases against the 4 mining bases, or the 4 established bases by Hyde. So there is a real possibility for Zork, although the supplies are heavily in favor of the Protoss. The only chance for Hyde would be to stay behind the SimCity and lurk Senkana, but yeah, it was just too much Protoss. Well, good game. So Volka will take that first one. Volka has so much gas, you could make 5 Templars out of that. Yeah, that is a lot of gas. He was really short on minerals at the very end though. So if the Hyde had somehow miraculously just turtled behind Sunkens and Lurkers, for a few more minutes and dealt with the army, like they could have really won that game, or at least equalized everything that was happening, because Volka was only on 2 mining bases. Alright, so the map is gonna be Ascension this time, and we have Volka spawning in the bottom right-ish position, and the Hyde spawning at the 12 o'clock. And they did play top versus bottom, and I really hate the yellow color, so we are gonna enjoy some top versus bottom action then. That base mines very efficiently, like 12 o'clock on Sylphid. I read 5 meme Templars. No, Escalate plays Zerg now. There are no meme Templars left on either. The Overmind took over them. Now they're meme links, I suppose. Volka? Oh wow. Okay, so Volka... meme Templars are banished from Ire. I hear there's one named Escalate, who still hangs around CPL. Well, he still kind of hangs around Ire, because Ire has technically been taken over by Zergs. Yeah, cancel. He seems to want to go for the 12 next after cancelling, and the Hyde going with an off-center archery. So this is a very oddly looking game, but what I wanted to say is one really quick advice for Volka is to definitely work on that SimCity, because this here is now not link tight, and you want your gateway on the right and your forge on the left every single time you're doing this wall, otherwise that's not link tight. Which reminds me, if someone wants to do all the walls for all the races or the CPL maps and send them to me, I will upload them to the web app with the map information, so we can prevent things like this from happening again. Oh, thank you, Age. Age is hosting us with 32 viewers, and thank you, man. How you doing? How was the stream? Did you get good already? But yeah, that cancelling, I agree with you that it's not great. You lose about, what is it, 32 minerals or something like this when you do that, which is almost a probe. Seems like the Hyde mixing it up, taking the gas this time before the 5th hatchery. But yeah, that SimCity will really hurt Volka right now, because at some point they will need to kill off this cannon or the gateway or the pylon, just so Dragoons can escape. Oof. This Zealot has 1 kill, 2 kills already. Oh my god. That more than makes up for the cancel. That is enforcing up that sinking colony. That is almost game-ending damage right now. The only thing that Volka can do here is to pump all these links as they are doing right now, research link speed, and really punish the Hyde for that SimCity. ITVZ spawns dropships and all drones. Seems like the Hyde is if anyone does not know their strategies or what they're going for, Zerg Noob is here to reveal all of his strategies. We do have an attempt for a Hydra attack, it seems, because we are getting the Hydra upgrades. But we're also currently working on 2 gas, and we don't have a lair started, so that will be a lot of gas that we'll have at some point. I wonder what the Hyde's actual plan is for this game. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's not very optimal for the Hyde. They really need to work on just the decision making as a whole. Also a place that's an open appeal to all Zerg players. When you notice that your approach opponent has done a bad SimCity like this, and you see that this is link tight, just speed link all in them. Every single time, until they learn. Because that is the second game already where Volka is not doing the proper SimCity on their natural, and game number 1 they even got away with it. As I was talking earlier in my previous series, you can start to do fancy things when you can allow yourself to do fancy things, and if that means expanding in PvZ, well, so be it. All my Zerg ambassadors, you're here to help me preach that to the pros players, but it seems like the Hyde has found the vulnerability of Volka already, and that Hydra aggression out of nowhere will well, it has the potential to close out the game, because that is too many Hydras. The natural is compromised, which means that okay, so some DTs are coming to reinforce. The question is, will the DTs do enough damage, because all these Hydras will pick up all the drones. Yeah, all the workers are falling, so even if this attack gets repelled, the Hyde does not really care. 11 workers left, I suppose. Okay, GG. I was gonna say, I suppose the height can eventually be pushed away with so many, with the DPs and no overlords, but the cost was too high for this. Well, good game for the height. It's 1-1 series, and we are going in game number 3 again, so second series of the day, both going to game number 3. And that is gonna be the last one for the cast. And we're gonna do all the TVZs later on with data. So let's go into game number 3 and see what that series is gonna be like. Who is the height? Let me actually check that. It's Reaver versus S.E.A.L. And Volka is a pro player from Argentina, funnily enough. I did not know about this. And the height is American. I did tap out, yeah. So Volka fighting for S.E.A.L and the height fighting for Reaver. Where's with the overlay? Oh my god, no. The map is Eclipse. And Volka is spawning in the top right corner. And the height is spawning in the bottom left corner. Data saving the cast. Despite not being a co-caster. I appreciate it. Do you know that actually either my first or my second CPL cast ever, it was more like a podcast because I forgot to switch the overlay for I think 2 hours or over 2 hours of a cast. No one did tell me. No, I don't think I had any people in the chat. No guys in the chat back then. It was the wild west. Oh my god, we have Volka going for a cannon rush, which is now scouted by the height. Let's see what the reaction is gonna be. But only 2 drones being pulled. I don't think this is quite enough. 2 more drones coming, and that will... Four drones I feel is enough, but you really want all... So when you are in such a situation, you want to click that mineral with all your 4 drones, and as they stack on top of each other, click stop and try to get the drones over in this area, because they can kill the probe and the cannon before the cannon finishes. But as it is right now, the probe was able to pick off one of these drones, and oh my god, a G coming out, and a GG. Wow. Okay, that was a bit of an anticlimactic game to finish on, but that is actually ties up the series. We are 1-1 with Reaver versus Team S.E.A.L. So, well, we had it all. We had a macro game, we had a PvT, we had a can rush in PvZ. We had everything today, and for now that's gonna be it, and let's find someone to raid. Can rush can be hard to hold. Yeah, it can be, definitely. But I feel like once you know how to hold it, it's starting to be much less effective. That's the reason why you don't really see a lot of can rushes. Who is streaming? So we currently have 3 people streaming StarCraft. We've got the Big Jip, we've got Terror, and we have Love Snow. Love Snow is one of the coaches in CPL. There is the South American Hope and the Big Jip as well. You all know the Big Jip. Oh yeah, Hermon is streaming. Who should we host? Let's host Hermon. Alright, see you all next time.